My company is Ileg Technology Screens. I've been a bit busy. I am going to be even more busier as the days come on. So you see less and less streams, more videos than streams because again, I have a lot of doing right now and a lot of projects I'm working on. All right, so getting to the basics here. I see this a lot. Make sure we get past these little commercials in here. Let me skip this thing. Oh, no, we're on the wrong one. Fire stickers on this side. Keep forgetting. PC's on this side. All right. Gotta remember, PC on this side, fire sticker on this side. So, TV worthy. I see this a lot. I've been seeing this from day one since I've been in this business. On screens claiming to be TV worthy. And again, same scenario, same nonsense. Basically, majority of ones who actually claim this are gray screens. Gray screens do claim to be TV worthy. And like I said, they said they do the exact same thing with the TV. A white screen can't say that because we definitely know how white screens work. You have to be in dark environments, and colors don't pick up contrast, doesn't pick up pixel white level, yes, but all that stuff doesn't pick up. So, are gray screens actually TV worthy? Now, you can go out and spend $800 for one. You can spend $1,500 for one. If some of them claim to be ambient light rejection, and then again, I see these ambient light rejection demonstrations. As a matter of fact, I have two high-performance gray screens under my table that cost quite a bit, and they're claiming to be ambient light rejection. They're clearly not, because ambient light rejection means you can absorb light in the environment without the screen deteriorating. That's what that stands for. You have the ability to absorb without deterioration or distortion to your picture. You have to turn out the lights to improve it. What's the point of having ambient light rejection? It doesn't work. So, the theory is, are you TV worthy? And the thing about it is, gray screens are not TV worthy. Why? This is not an OLED TV. It doesn't have to be. All it has to do is read a contrast level. It's one of the newer models. If it was one of the older models, it would be huge and bulky, and it pretty much would have a gray screen instead of a black screen. But that has a black screen. So that TV right there doesn't have to be OLED, can pick up a contrast level. They'll say that, well, we have to be, no. It has to pick up next to a screen. OLEDs just pick up a very higher contrast level. But you still are going to have to pick up to a basic monitor. That's a basic monitor. If you can't read a contrast level or color next to that, then you have problems here. Now, what I like about this demonstration here with the fish, we have assortment of colors. We have dark contrast levels. We have white levels in there. We have a little bit of everything going on here, which is actually fantastic. So, with that being said, when I look at the gray screen, my gray screen is on my QME2 projector. My QME2 projector has a 10,000 to 1 contrast sitting on top of it. It sits right on top of the gray screen. So if you bought the QME2 and you bought a gray screen paint or gray projection screen, thinking that the 10,000 to 1 was going to fix it, it doesn't do anything at all, period. It's completely useless. So you are not TV worthy. I've seen this dozens of times with gray screens making these statements, and you can't stick your screen, and you can't stick a TV in a dark environment. Excuse me. Sticking the TV, and I've seen this every single time. They'll be in a dark environment, have the TV in a dark environment, and then they'll say at the end of the day that, hey, I'm TV worthy. TVs don't sit in those environments. That TV can operate anywhere in this environment with no problem whatsoever. On the other hand, the gray screen can't. Now, people are getting mad and they go, oh, no, all of you have this issue. It's not one person. All of you have this issue. If one person today can show me a side-by-side demonstration next to a TV, and I do want to see a star field in there, contrast levels, I want to see it all, and a fully lit environment. I mean, right next to the window, fully, just fired up in there. Not that usual dark environment. Now, if you can't do that, and mind you, you're going to have to be at 300 lumens on your screen, and if you can't do that, then there's a problem there because you're not TV worthy. Now, I had somebody come in over the weekend and say, oh, I have an OLED, it's better. No, OLEDs aren't better than our technology because our screens can do something that OLEDs can't do. I can project the ceilings, floors. My technology is submersible. And as for that invisible OLED technology, my screen can absorb sunlight. That thing can't absorb sunlight. I did all the research on it. I know exactly what it can do and what it can't do. On top of that, it is super expensive. And another thing about the OLED, OLEDs don't have the aspect ratio to watch a movie. That's why it says formatted for your TV. I'm in OLED form sites all the time. I know more about those TVs than probably people who purchase them. Because most of the time y'all don't read through your manuals, and I read through everything. So I know all the flaws those things have. You can't game off of them. Screen burning. They'll have a burning either way. Anything that has any form of still static image that's sitting on your screen, such like any form of monitoring or radar or anything you may have up there, equipment display, it's going to burn into your screen. So you can't have that. So another issue you have with the OLED at the end of the day, again, they're extremely expensive. Try to get a 158 inch at a 235.1. So much money that's going to cost you. That'll cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. On top of that, it's in the form room, they're not aspect ratio correctly. So they're at 16:9, 16:10, 235, 230. If they make them that way, they're god awful expensive. Outside, do you have any idea how much money an outdoor projection screen costs? You can spend 30 grand for a 20 inch for outside. A 20 inch for outside, $30,000. So, and that's not even OLED, by the way. Not even OLED. So it has the TVs. I just saw one walk into the park. It was a big one too. It must have been at least about, it's a good 80 inches outside. Outside in the trash. You know why? Kid cracked the screen. And when I was talking to the owner, when it had the screen out there. I'll take a picture when I walk by. If it's still out there, probably not. But anyway, yeah, I took it's a huge TV. It's out in the trash. The son cracked the screen. So they tried to get the screen replaced and found that the screen cost more than the TV itself. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that's why you see them out in the trash like that. All of them. That'll be OLED. All of them because they're very expensive to replace. That's why you see them out in the trash that way. This, your kid can throw something at the screen, it ain't going to damage it. Even if he nicks the screen, say if he nicks the screen, right? You just put a little paint on it, boop, you're done. Right back to normal. No problem whatsoever. No expense of, no calling someone to fix this and fix that, nothing. Just a little dab and you're done. That's pretty much it. Can't damage the screen. That has a long commercial in it. I'm going to let that click here. Ooh, we went running the wrong one here. Here we go. Here we go. I might switch that up with something else that has less than the they're playing over there. Don't too many commercials on this side. It says less commercials. That has more commercials on this side. Let me see what we got going on here. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with the OLEDs. I meet most people who have these TVs, and I was like, why do you have these Stonehenge effect? If you don't know the Stonehenge effect, if you've been to theater rooms and you see the Stonehenge effect, the Stonehenge effect is when you have a little TV in the middle, and you have these giant speakers wrapped all around it. They call it the Stonehenge effect. Now, I always say, well, you got bigger sound than you have the TV display. Why don't you just get a bigger TV? Too expensive. It can't be in there with 100 inches, 120 inches. Projectors do that. We have customers that have 100 inches, 120s, 150s. You can't get that. Oh, that's way too expensive. Oh, it costs much money. Besides, you won't be able to fit it through your doorway anyway. So, yeah, there's that right there. So, on top of that, for the business part of it all, projector mapping applications. I have no idea why you would be projector mapping off the TV. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. Now, as for invisible technology, they're talking about our visible technology versus the invisible OLED. Number one, way too expensive. I think the biggest they make this screen is 70 inches. Ours goes up to over 100 inches. Ours is also, too, can absorb sunlight. You can't stick that thing next to sunlight. You'll damage the screen. You know what happens if you take a screen and you stick it near sunlight? It dulls the image. So you have a lot of problems with that. If you're worried about the signal burnouts, pixelation burnouts, and everything else, like stick it next to sunlight, see how fast it rapidly deteriorates on you. So no, ain't gonna happen. That ad tech technology we make, that thing goes anywhere it wants to go. You will not be taking your OLED out anywhere you want to go. It's not going to happen that way, especially that invisible version of it. And the flaw I saw in the visible version is it can't read contrast. It's a separate screen that comes up to read contrast. It's a separate screen that comes to read invisible. So therefore, the invisible screen comes up. How is it OLED if it doesn't read black? There you go. That's little conversations I have in forum sites with people who own these actual TVs. Not people who come on YouTube and claim to have an actual TV and don't have an actual TV. Because I've actually seen that before. I've had people come in and comment, and I click on your channel, and there's like nothing there. There's no TVs. There's nothing at all whatsoever. If you have something and you back it up, you're going to show that you haven't backed it up. You're not going to come on with a fake channel to begin with. It's just stupid. You don't have it. Either way. So, people, I mean, in forum sites, so I said, well, what kind of TV you had? Those will show the TV. They'll show the freaking theater room, popcorn, they show everything. Oh, 9 yards at all. What's another thing, too? Can a TV be a movie theater screen? No. It can't be a movie theater screen. It's too small. Movie screens are huge. There's no way in the world. The average screen for a home is 100 inches. There's no way in the world you're going to pay 100 inches for a TV. Yeah, that's going to be a very expensive setup. And the power that thing will draw and would be unfreaking believable. I don't care if it is a power saver. How much money a TV pulls in of power is unbelievable. So, yeah, there's just so many issues with those. TVs have gotten god-awful expensive. I remember TVs used to be affordable when I was a kid coming up. They were affordable. In some ways, they were somewhat expensive, but still they were affordable. Now today, they cost almost as much as a house. You spend $80,000, $90,000 for a TV, 60 grand for a TV. You bought a car. You literally have a car sitting on your wall. So you don't have a lot of options with something like that. And with the new technology we have coming out, the black version of that technology, it's way beyond OLED's technology. That thing can be taken off the wall, go anywhere it wants to go, and can operate outside at 300 lumens. I had somebody say, well, what about the projectors? Are the projectors expensive? Oh, you seen a smile pop up on my face, did you not? When the guy sat there and said, well, your setups cost more money because you're going to spend all this money for a projector. Yeah, oh, you might have been talking to somebody else, but not us. Our stuff's around $200. Well, you got to spend money for 4K. You have to have 4K. The screen deteriorate. No, that's a 720p model right there. See the advantage point I have when I go on the forum sites? Because we don't do tradition, that's why. Now, getting back to this thing right here. Question. Now, I've seen this before with gray screens. A lot of gray screens will say this. We are TV worthy. Are you TV worthy? You're not TV worthy. You know why? You can't read contrast. This is the part you skip altogether. You skip all the contrast. You're not, if you're expecting to depend on the projector, then how much money would the customer have to spend on their projector in order to reach that level? Whew, that's going to be a very costly and very expensive projector, and when they ever reach it, nah, they ain't reaching it. They'll never reach it. That's like the equivalence of putting cookies on the top shelf and seeing your son trying to jump up and reach for them. You can't make that task. It's not going to happen. He'll try to figure it out, but he still never reach it. That's why you have it all the way up there, to make sure he doesn't reach it. You can't reach that. So, with that being said, you can't say on your site that you're TV worthy. And what I've seen when you guys do TV worthy, what you'll do is you'll take the screen and you'll stick it in a dark environment and say, hey, we have the same thing as a TV. We do the same thing. Do you have any idea you can get sued for that? That's a lawsuit right there. It is. It's an actual lawsuit because you said something that's not true. They'll get you on it. I'm telling you. People think at the end of the day that it's a joke. I speak to one of my lawyer friends real quick, and they'll explain to you that anything that you said on camera or anything you put in any specification, whatever it may be, it doesn't make a difference. You can be sued on it. Anything. You have to back up everything you just said from your mouth. So if you think something as small as that no one will pick up on it, somebody will pick up on it. It's a big world at the end of the day. Somebody's going to pick up on it. And if they do pick up on it and you sold enough of this stuff on that lie, you're in a lot of trouble. Because you're going to have to back it up in court. You'll be doing one of these. So let's turn the lights out first. Let's see if the gray screen improves. Ain't that even too much light. And as you can see, even with the lights out, that's the only way they can sit there and go, oh, we're TV worthy. That's the lie they tell you. Because here's the thing, in the demonstrations I watched against gray screens and the whole theory of TV worthy is every single demonstration was done in the dark, which means you lied. Now, if I turn the lights on, will the TV change? If I turn the lights on, will your screen change? Some of you have very large lawsuits coming your way, just so you know. So we're building cases. We're building a lot of cases. Not against one person. It's a lot of people we're building cases against a challenge in court. And these are the demonstrations. If anything big, extravagant, no expensive, high, none of that's needed. This is a basic demonstration that you should be able to pass. You're not TV worthy. And as for the customers, there's your lie. That's how it's done. So, if you have a TV and you buy one, right? Everybody has TVs, right? How many of you sitting in the dark right now because you said to your friends, well, we can't turn the lights on because the TV doesn't work? That's bogus. You know your TV works with the lights on. That's why you have a TV. It works with the lights on, right? So, shouldn't the projector screen do the same thing, the gray one, if it's TV worthy? So if the projection screen can only be used with the lights out, then it's not TV worthy if the TV can be used with the lights on. Now, we can sit there and say, well, projection screens were meant to be used in the dark, but the TV's a different story. It's not meant to be used in the dark. It's meant to be used with lights on, lights off. It doesn't make a difference. That means you lied. You know the term behind steel coffin? Steel coffin, if you actually fall into one of these things and they're designed to be airlocked. They're virtually almost impossible. You gotta tear up a coffin to get a person out of there. You can just open it back up again. Cases that we're building are called steel coffins. They're designed that there's no way for you to get out of it. You can get all the lawyers you want in the world, you can't get out of it. It's virtually impossible. That's what we're building, these cases. You know why these cases are being done? Because customers are being ripped off. It's not about competition. If it's competition, I could wipe you with the technology. I got a new technology sitting in the corner over there. We can't show you. I can wipe you with that with no problem. But it's not about that. It's about the consumer that's getting ripped off. And when the consumer gets ripped off by multiple companies that are telling these lies, it makes companies that are doing their job correctly look bad also. So the mess has to be cleaned up because you guys are lying. You're not telling the truth. Now, going back and forth on YouTube doesn't work. Outing you on YouTube doesn't work. You know what works? Courtrooms work. Because this is where things are real. You can't play games. You can't joke around. You can't get, that doesn't exist in that world. You have to come correct or you will lose everything in the process if you don't. So the only people that are mad about what I'm doing are people that are making the product. I don't hear one customer upset saying, oh yeah, he wants to take company support for lying to consumers because he feels consumers should get a better shake or better deal when it comes to their projection setups. What customer would be angry about that? People make products are upset about it because they know they will be outed. That's why. So, are you TV worthy? No, you're not. How can you state to be TV worthy if you can't read the contrast that the monitor can read? And then for some people sit there and say, well, it has to be an OLED monitor. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be OLED. Any monitor can read black. That can read black. My cell phone can read black. So it's now you see the change. This is why every demonstration I've seen, and I'm not going to name companies yet, but every demonstration I've seen with people making this statement, claiming that they could read this just like a TV, lie. Now, what about us? I've done demonstrations next to TVs. Heck, I can push a 150-inch fish tank through a window. We absorb sunlight. We have no problem with ambient light. We specialize in ambient light rejection technology. That's what we do. That's me. That's my product. That's my gamer technology. It can read in the same environment like a TV. When I had to sell our gamer paint to companies, and they have monitors all over the place, you had to convince them that you can do the same thing that their monitors can do. My projector is 300 lumens, 720p, and 10,001 don't mean jack on our screen because our screen reads higher than 10,001 because it's actually black. The 2,000,000:1 on your P2 projector, that screen reads higher than your 2,000,000:1 on your projector because you know why? It's not a rating, that is an infinity. And an infinity means it has infinity levels of contrast because the screen is actually black. It's the difference between projecting black and being black. So we can read the exact same thing as a monitor or any TV, which makes our product TV worthy. Which means we can replace TVs. We have that capability. See, simple, sweet. I want to do these demonstrations under 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm doing under 30 minutes. I can get under 25 minutes. It's a simple demonstration. We don't need any crazy setups and giant. We don't need any of that. Just simple and basic. Because this is the same setup I'm bringing to court. Same thing. Very simple. So we'll paint your product down to a surface. Paint a little square of our product in the middle. Take another piece like this and we'll paint that too. Cover it up with your screen. Put it next to a monitor right we have here. It's a 1080p monitor, by the way. Now, the projector over here is 720p. And we'll do the demonstration right there. Now, we have to turn on the lights in the environment to get your screen to improve, then there's a problem there. TV worthy. You're supposed to be able to operate in any environment with no problem. You're replacing a TV. See all those beautiful reds popping through? Nice beautiful reds on our screen popping through. Beautiful colors, just like the TV. Now I gotta shoot me a little short video of this because I have to broadcast this everywhere as we usually do. And we were posting this video directly to our website. I'm gonna put a big video player there. Why gray screens are not TV worthy. And it's not just screen paints, it's all of you. Any screen that's gray will have this issue. Any screen that's gray. Now, if anyone feels at the end of the day the demonstration I did here is completely false, if all this is done with some kind of form of special effects, sign our contract, we'll see you in court. That's all you got to do. Simple sign. Now, we like to make that statement because that statement means we can back our technology anywhere we go. Gee, 55. Really? You want 55 minutes? I can just skip down and get another video. I'm not doing 55. It's a whole freaking TV show. That's a movie. Matter of fact, that's more than a movie, I think it is. I don't watch a lot of movies. So I like these demonstrations. Why? Get a little bit of everything. We get some white sand, we get white fish, we get blue levels, we get color levels. It's all in one. You should be able to read that with no problem. The bubbles on the top. It's the bubbles on the top on the side. So, I've seen some big companies make this statement. I've seen some big companies make statements that they were TV worthy. Oh yeah, we've got your videos. We copied them. We've heard this before with big companies making this statement. TV worthy. You're not TV worthy. How the freak would that even be possible? You can't read a contrast level. You're gray. Even if you're dark gray, you still can't pick it up. That's a dark gray. Can't pick it up. And our technology can blend into your gray with no problem. That's another problem you're going to have at the end of the day too. Those people made statements. 60 videos we've acquired over the weekend. We've caught 60 people who made statements saying that our technology came up darker than a gray screen. These are $10 million contracts and they carry prison time, so you know that. I hope you're ready for this when it comes. 60, we caught 60. We're not going to mention who you are, but your information is already being dug up. We have to dig your information up. We have to figure out where you lay your head at, because I got to send court papers to you. But anyway, yeah, we caught them. Are you ready for what you're about to face in the day? That is not stone statement to make. No, you can't turn that screen unwatchable. That's impossible. That thing's tested. This is not the time to be hit with lawsuits, especially around the Christmas seasons. You don't want to be hit with that stuff within the day. But anyway, yeah, 60. Got 60 over the weekend. We were gathering information. I was kind of busy. But anyway, you're not TV worthy. We've done this already with the dark gray screen mixes. They don't pick up contrast. I do want to basically father that one on more contrast levels. And this is what customers right now who bought those gray mixes are doing right now. Because if they turn their lights on, their screen doesn't work. So 2.0 gain? No, you don't have that. You don't have a 2.0 gain. You don't know why you say that you have 2.0. You don't have that. You don't have a 3.0. Really stop saying that one. That's a misconception right there. You don't have that. Does 4K work on a gray screen? Absolutely not. It doesn't. It doesn't work on a gray screen. There's no point. This is no. It doesn't work for 1080p. If you don't believe me, go to any forum site. I don't care who you go to. And explain to them like, hey, I got a gray screen. But I utilize my 4K or 1080p projector better with a darker screen or with a lighter screen. They're going to tell you darker. And for those people that sit there and say, well, no, you don't read. You don't pick up. And the guy actually showed you in a demonstration where he did the LG logo popped up. That's a 2 million to 1 contrast projector. It didn't pick up a lick of contrast. So what happened there? And then in the demonstration, people seen dozens of it. The blacklist has been hit like crazy for the people that are watching videos and stuff. But also too, on top of that, what happened to the color? I mean, there's teddy bears and all that stuff, the green displays and different color levels, they're all washed out. That's a very expensive machine. And it couldn't read it. It read it just like that. And you're being told to calibrate. Anyone who tells you to calibrate a projector that has billions of colors attached to it, that is a major red flag. Because I'm pretty sure when you bought the projector, the first thing that came to your mind was calibration. I guarantee you, when you bought that projector, you said, wow, it's got a billion colors. Probably going to have to calibrate this. It didn't even cross your mind, did it? It came to your mind like, wow, I'm going to see all those beautiful colors. That's what popped up in your head. Then later on, I find out you can't see those colors because you have to calibrate. So anytime you're dealing with gray screens, you'll be calibrating. You'll be spending money for more expensive projectors with higher inky contrast levels because you won't be reading that. Even if you spend the money, it's not going to work. Like I said, this one has 10,000 to 1. It doesn't read on gray screen. You'll be stuck in dark environments. That's a definite yes. You will not be taking that thing outside. You think that it looks worse inside. It looks even horrible outside. They don't read for jack. And it's going to cost you a lot of money. You'll be spending money for the projector inside, and you'll be buying money for high lumen projectors outside, which again, it's not going to work. Mine are high lumen projectors. It's not going to fix you. It'll wash the screen out even faster. You're introducing more light to the screen. For those in the art world, projector mapping, you can forget that. That's never going to work. It can't read contrast. It read contrast work with projector mapping applications. Infinity ceiling technology? No. Heck no. How would that even work? How are you going to get a star field to pop up on a ceiling? No. It's just not going to work at all. And as for replacing your TV, she was Louise, boy, that is going to be a rude awakening when you basically decide not to buy a TV and you go out and you buy this gray mixture mess in there, or any form of gray screen. Yeah, good luck on that one at the end of the day. Only we read. Now, if you sit there and say, what is other black? I've tested other black screens. One couldn't even back its claim or gave us back all our money and canceled out an entire state. Actually, 9 states, 10 states, including us. So it doesn't tell me that's something I'm going to trust. The other one was switching smartest surface, which we did test. The white levels were absolutely horrible. They're horrible white levels. That's why I actually have a video of me actually having a conversation with them, live chat. Asking them all sorts of questions, and they just lie through that entire chat. Because there's no way in the world white projection screen is going to be to absorb sunlight. That's one of the things I have. And for them at the end of the day, feel that I never did. I document everything. I have it right there in the chat. What I was telling to you guys. You guys weren't truthful. That you didn't know your own product. And that scares me at the end of the day if you don't know your own product. And the other one you have is diamond technology. With diamond technology, screen innovation requires 8,000 lumens in order to get the screen to kick. That an 8,000 lumen projector isn't designed for home. That's a very big projector. That's a commercial. That thing would basically blow out your entire electrical system. It would kill your box, your fuse box, wherever you have an electrical box, whatever. You couldn't power that thing up in your house. I went through that already. I had a commercial projector come in. That's why I got the EcoFlow system to power that thing up. Because you have to pay an electrician a lot of money to put in a dedicated circuit breaker to run that thing. It has to be on a dedicated line. So yeah, no, you're not running commercial in there. Who the freak is walking in front of 8,000 lumens? You would have to have tremendously high ceilings to put that in, because you couldn't put that at the average level. The average level means you run the risk of walking into that thing. So how they install an 8,000 lumen projector, which I have no idea why some people don't know this who sell product. How do you not know this? See, the thing about it. When you're in the field of projection, you have to know the projectors, how to position them, where to put them at. You have to know your environment. You have to know the screen size, what kind of light you're dealing. You don't know any of that stuff. I don't know why you're in the business. There's more than just mixing paint together. But 8,000 lumen machines aren't sitting on the ground. 8,000 lumen projectors are way up in the ceiling. That's where they sit at. And the screens are way up high. They're big screens. So they can project a giant screen so everybody can see it down below, but the projector's up high so they make contact with anybody. That's why anytime you walk into an environment and you see a huge screen, look up. You'll know that the projectors are way up there. They're not down there. That's why. But anyway, so that screen he has, when I went to talk to Screen Innovation about it, I was like, well, gee whiz, 8,000, what does it take? What's the minimum for the screen to kick? They said 8,000. That's what, 8,000, that's a very expensive projector. That's commercial. So yeah, that's what's sold to companies. Because companies are going to have that set up like that. So for the average Joe, no. That's what makes them angry. That makes them angry right there. They're upset right now. They're bitter. Very upset. Well, I'm passing my mark here. Simple, basic demonstration. As for the customers, simple, basic. We got light in the ceiling. We got our monitor here. We've got great screen paint. And we have our technology under the Apex right here. Our new Apex technology right here. Complete, give the Apex Ultra, IOEG Ultimate Apex Gamer Complete. Right there. And as you can see, without our technology, that projector doesn't work. Gray screen doesn't help it. Gray screen is definitely not TV worthy. So you guys really got to stop saying that. You really do. You're not TV worthy. And customers, instead of you getting ripped off and them tricking you by sticking the screen in the dark with a monitor, which I've seen so many times. My personal favorites in lies and projection screen paint lies is the fellow, we know who, I'm not going to mention in my video, but you know he's already in enough trouble as it is, but you know what I'm talking about. Little windows open in the back, blocked by furniture, a little door cracked open, the light's nowhere making contact with the screen, because you can see when you look at the ceiling, that light's not transferring over. I look at the bookcases, it doesn't even transfer past the bookcases. It's dark in little corners here and there, and got little lights behind the back of the screen. That's the fakest setup I've ever seen in my life. I've seen worse. No. I have to say it's going to be the fakest. Lights behind the back of the screen, lights on the screen to give up this fake illusion. That's the product right there, by the way. Why it's not working in here the same way it is in the video. That's what a lot of people were asking in the forum site. I was like, you already know. You already know from the door. It's his product. Don't work for Jack. TV worthy? No. At all, period. Not even close to it. That's why he's in the dark all the time, because his color screen doesn't work correctly. But anyway, yeah, that nonsense right there. Lift the customer off any chance they can get. We sit in a dark environment just like this, doing a demonstration. Look how amazing the colors look. Yeah, you're ripping your customer base off. There you go. So our technology is an ILEG, which you call infusion light energy gain. It has backed itself up on so many levels, it's not even funny. Which means our technology means when that light comes on, no deterioration, no washout, no discoloration, nothing. No calibrating, no expensive projectors, infinity contrast capabilities, the most ultimate colors you've ever seen on a projection screen. That thing can produce it at 720p at 600 by 800 720p res. Easily, no problem. Do you need HDMI port? No, you don't. Do you need high contrast? No, you don't. Do you need basically billions and billions of colors? No, none of that. You know how cheap a projector that is 600 by 800 720p's are without an HDMI port? They're like 20 bucks, $20. So with our technology, you can literally have a screen in every single room with a projector that costs you $20 and look like a 4K. Everyone we showed that demonstration to, they thought they were all 4K machines. I'm like, oh heck no, we're in there right. $20 projectors, one was $10, one we paid $16.25 for. Like literally, that's it. That's what my customers get. That's why you see my customers in their demonstrations outside. All right, people, hope you enjoyed the demonstration. Nice little reality wake-up call for people who sell these gray screens at the end of the day, and for customers to see exactly what you're getting. Anytime you see anyone displaying, saying that their product is TV worthy, and you're watching that demonstration in a dark environment, now you see why they have it in a dark environment. Yeah, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. So make sure you get what you pay for. First, ask for all testing under the product before the product was sold. You want a batch number verification showing the product was tested before it was shipped out to you. And you want to make sure you have tests. Most important test of all, it's the most important test. Make sure you get that gray versus gray test. We have plenty of black versus black tests. You want to check out our products. At the end of the day, we have an entire page. Matter of fact, I'll put the link in this video. It's going to be our page that we're actually still adding videos to. It is the largest test that we have in our black technology, which shows it being tested against black fabrics, black films, paints, you name it. It's up there. But anyway, you should be able to get the same thing because, like I said, at the end of the day, you could very easily be sent a shelf paint, a product sit off a shelf, if that person doesn't have proper testing. Check out the blacklist, why this is extremely important, why these tests are important. You'll see a person in there, I'm not going to mention them in our video, but you'll see a person in there matching multiple house paints and still selling it. So that's a very, very high concern when you don't want to get ripped off. Mind you, it's your time, your dime at the end of the day. You want to make sure you get what you paid for. You don't want to get ripped off in the process. And as I said before, for any company out there, anyone out there, hear me clearly. If you feel that the demonstration I have done here is completely falsified, fake in any way whatsoever, sign our contract, see us in court. Keep in mind those contracts are for $1 million and up. And I guarantee you, at the end of the day, as the nose is on my face, on your face, that's a courtroom. You do not want to be trapped in the room with us at the end of the day because we can back it up on every level you can possibly think of. I plan to do one of these outside today. I'm going to get outside, run around for a little bit. So I'm going to do this demonstration with the gray screen versus our screen outside on our new Apex. All right, with that being said, got to go. Thank you for your time and God bless.